The galaxy was quiet, too quiet. Stars twinkled like distant candles in the endless dark, and planets spun silently in their orbits. To most civilizations, it was just another peaceful week. But whispers traveled faster than light across the void. Whispers of a force that had been forgotten for centuries, a force that no one dared to challenge. Humans. For generations, humans had been small players in galactic politics. Their worlds were scattered and their fleets weak. Other species laughed at them, called them primitive, unworthy of attention. But in the shadows, humans had waited, watched and prepared. And now something long hidden was stirring. In a remote star system, far from prying eyes, the first signs appeared. Massive ships, long buried beneath ice and rock, began to hum with life. Ancient engines that had not burned fuel in thousands of years roared awake. The war fleet of old humanity, lost to history and myth, was stirring. Metal hulls that had survived centuries in silence now shimmered with energy. Lights blinked along their decks. The fleet was alive. On the bridge of the lead ship, a human commander named Adrian Kane stared at the main console. His eyes were calm, but inside a storm of anticipation raged. This fleet was humanity's secret, a secret kept so long that even the humans themselves had started to doubt its existence. Now standing before him, the massive ships gleamed like the teeth of a predator ready to strike. "Fleet status?" Kane asked, his voice steady. "All systems online, Commander," replied the officer beside him. "Engines at 20%. Weapons systems charging. Life support stable." Kane nodded. He had studied the old designs for years, deciphering ancient codes and blueprints, learning how to awaken the fleet without destroying it. He had done his part. Now it was time for the galaxy to remember that humans were not weak. Far away in the corridors of power across the galaxy, alarms began to sound. Alien civilizations sensed something. Something old. Something powerful. Sensors picked up the faint energy signature of the fleet. Analysts stared at their screens, unable to comprehend what they saw. The readings did not match any known human technology. "Impossible," muttered Admiral Ralvok of the Klin Empire. "Humans cannot have this kind of power. Our intelligence is clear. This must be a sensor error." But it was no error. The humans had waited for centuries, growing slowly, quietly, mastering technology lost to other species, and now they were ready. Kane walked along the deck, past hundreds of crew members preparing for launch. Each human moved with a purpose, a confidence that belied their small numbers. Their voices were calm, but the tension in the air was thick. Every sensor read unknown threats, every radar ping showed approaching patrols, but the humans did not flinch. "They won't see us coming," Kane whispered to himself. Deep inside the fleet, hidden compartments opened to reveal weapons that had not felt fire in generations. Energy cannons, plasma turrets, and missile arrays blinked with anticipation. Ancient AI systems, older than most planets in the sector, activated. They hummed in the language of machines, awaiting the command to unleash their power. Outside the fleet, small patrol ships of alien species noticed something strange. Shadows in the darkness, moving where nothing should move. Reports began to flood their command centers. Energy spikes, ships appearing and disappearing, readings that made no sense. In the midst of the confusion, Kane returned to the bridge. The main screen displayed the star system ahead. Empty, silent, and peaceful. To anyone else, it would look like nothing was happening. But to Kane, it was the perfect stage. He pressed a few buttons and the fleet slowly began to move. Massive engines ignited with a soft blue glow. The ships lifted from their hiding places, rising into orbit like ghosts awakened from a long slumber. Somewhere in the galaxy, across light years of space, alien sensors screamed. Fleets that had never been threatened before were suddenly on high alert. Panic spread through councils and war rooms. Analysts and spies tried to figure out what was happening, but the humans had hidden their fleet too well. None of their data could predict the movements of these ancient ships. Kane turned to his crew. "Prepare for the first jump. Remember your training. Remember why we are here." A silence fell over the bridge. This was not just a mission. It was the moment humanity stepped from the shadows and reminded the galaxy of its strength. The unknown awaited them, but fear did not touch the humans. They had waited too long to be afraid now. As the fleet prepared to leave the system, a distant tremor passed through the galaxy. Not a quake of planets, but a tremor felt in the hearts of every civilization that looked up at the stars, and believed humans were small and weak. They were about to learn the truth, and somewhere deep in the darkness of space a single alien voice whispered in disbelief. "They're awake. The humans. They are awake." The stars shone brighter that night as if the galaxy itself held its breath. The ancient warfleet was awake. Humanity was awake. And the galaxy would never be the same again. The human fleet moved like shadows through the void. Stars streaked past as massive ships slipped from one hidden system to another, their engines quiet, almost invisible to alien sensors. To the galaxy, humanity was still small and weak. To the humans themselves, they were a force reborn. Commander Adrian Kane stood on the bridge of the flagship, eyes scanning the holographic map. The fleet was scattered, hidden among asteroid belts, gas clouds, and the dead remains of forgotten planets. Every ship followed strict protocols. Every move was calculated. "They're looking for us," said Lieutenant Mira Solis, her fingers dancing across the console. "Alien patrols are increasing near the outer rim. They're sensing something unusual." Kane nodded. "Good. Let them think we are weak. Let them underestimate us. We'll strike when they least expect it." For centuries, humans had been underestimated. They had built colonies, explored distant systems, and quietly advanced their technology while other civilizations competed for power. No one suspected that the humans were preparing for something much bigger, a fleet older than any current empire, armed with weapons thought lost to time. Deep inside the ships, engineers and scientists worked tirelessly. Ancient war machines hummed to life, energy conduits glowing like veins of lightning. Weapon systems calibrated themselves, AI cores booted up, and battle drones emerged from storage bays. The fleet was not only large, it was smart. It could think, adapt, and strike faster than anyone expected. Outside, small alien scouts patrolled the sector. They reported anomalies, flashes of energy, ships appearing and disappearing, readings that made no sense. The analysts and commanders on those alien worlds grew anxious. Something was wrong. Humans were moving, humans were preparing, but no one knew how many ships they had, or what kind of power they carried. Kane walked along the deck of the flagship, observing his crew. Each human moved with purpose, a quiet confidence that came from knowing their strength. They were not soldiers born into privilege. They were survivors, explorers, inventors, and fighters, and now they carried the legacy of a lost civilization in the form of a fleet that could change the balance of the galaxy. "Commander," Mira said suddenly, pointing at the holographic display, "we're approaching the edge of the sensor field. Alien patrols are converging. If we don't act carefully, we'll be detected." Kane's eyes narrowed. "Good. That's exactly where we want them. Keep the fleet silent. Let them get close. Then we'll show them what humans can do." The fleet moved with precision. They navigated asteroid belts, weaving between colossal rocks and through nebula clouds that masked their presence. It was a delicate dance, and one mistake could reveal them to enemy scouts. But the humans were masters of patience and strategy. They had waited centuries for this moment. In the command room of an alien cruiser, analysts stared at their screens in disbelief. "It can't be," whispered Admiral Ralvok, the Klin Empire leader. "The readings are wrong. Humans cannot have this fleet. They don't have the technology, the resources. Nothing explains this." Kane's fleet, meanwhile, reached a hidden jump point, a natural tunnel in space known only to the humans. The fleet's massive engines powered up, and one by one ships slipped through the jump gate, leaving no trace behind. Within moments they were gone, reappearing in a sector far from prying eyes. The humans had a plan. They would remain hidden, strike quickly, and disappear again. Every alien patrol they bypassed, every fleet they avoided, strengthened the legend of the humans. Stories of small, fragile planets hiding terrible power spread across the galaxy, and fear began to grow. In the heart of the fleet, Kane addressed his officers. "We are not here to conquer," he said. "We are here to remind the galaxy that humanity survives, and that we will not be ignored. Our fleet is a warning, not a threat. But make no mistake, if they challenge us, we will strike and we will win." The officers nodded, their faces serious but determined. They understood the weight of their mission. They understood the centuries of patience, the sacrifices, and the intelligence required to awaken the fleet. They were part of something greater than themselves, a force that could change the course of the galaxy. As the fleet slipped deeper into uncharted space, Alien fleets scrambled to track them. Reports flooded command centers, analysts argued over data, and spies were sent to every corner of the outer rim. Humans had become the mystery that no one could solve, the ghost fleet that haunted the edges of known space. Kane returned to the bridge, his gaze focused on the stars ahead. "Soon," he whispered almost to himself, "soon the galaxy will see what humans are capable of." And in that moment, a small distant star blinked, a signal, perhaps, of what was coming. Somewhere in the darkness, alien scouts felt a chill run through their circuits. They could sense the humans moving, always just out of reach. The secret fleet was no longer a myth. It was real. It was alive. And it was ready. Somewhere in the galaxy, the whispers grew louder. The humans, they are no longer weak. They are planning something. And it will change everything. The stage was set. The humans were no longer hiding. The galaxy had been warned. The human fleet moved silently through the outer rim, where the stars were faint and alien patrols rarely ventured. For centuries, humans had been underestimated, small colonies, fragile ships, and weak technology. But now they were no longer weak. Commander Adrian Kane stood on the bridge of the flagship, watching the holographic display. A fleet of alien patrols was ahead, moving along a routine route. Most species would see this as a routine survey, a minor annoyance. Kane saw it as an opportunity. "They're moving in formation," said Lieutenant Mira Solis, her voice steady. "Their sensors are active. If they detect us, we'll have only minutes to react." Kane nodded. "Then let's make it quick. Keep the fleet in stealth mode. Wait for my signal." The human ships glided like ghosts through the darkness. Alien scouts moved ahead, unaware that the fleet was far larger than they imagined. The humans had the advantage: surprise, superior strategy, and ancient technology that no one else could match. As the first alien patrol entered the sector, the humans struck. With precise timing, energy pulses from hidden ships disabled the alien sensors. Communications went dark. Engines sputtered and failed. The patrol ships drifted silently, powerless, while the human fleet remained hidden in the shadows. "This is only the beginning," Kane whispered, a faint smile on his face. The aliens quickly realized something was wrong. "Report, why are our sensors failing?" "Where are they hiding?" shouted Admiral Ralvok, watching from a distant command center. Panic was creeping into his voice. No one had ever seen technology like this. No one could explain it. Meanwhile, Kane gave the signal. The fleet emerged from stealth. Massive ships glowed with energy as their weapons powered up. Alien patrols scrambled to respond, but it was too late. Humans moved with precision, striking only where needed. Energy cannons fired, disabling engines without destroying lives unnecessarily. Every shot, every maneuver showed human ingenuity. Lieutenant Solis watched the battlefield unfold on the holographic display. "They're outnumbered, but they're in complete control. This is unbelievable." Kane's voice echoed over the comms. "Humans are not just survivors. We are thinkers, strategists, and fighters. Let this be a warning." The alien fleet was in chaos. Their ships spun, collided, and panicked. They had trained for years to face threats, but humans were not like anything they had faced before. Ancient AI systems within the human fleet adapted in real time, predicting alien movements and countering attacks with uncanny precision. Kane walked along the bridge, observing his crew. Each member remained calm, efficient, and focused. They were not only fighting, they were proving a point: that humanity could survive, adapt, and dominate even against impossible odds. One alien cruiser tried to escape. Human drones swarmed it, blocking every route. The cruiser fired desperately, but the ancient fleet anticipated every move. Within moments, the ship surrendered, powerless before the humans. Admiral Ralvok's voice trembled as he watched the battle unfold. How is this possible? Humans, they're stronger than we imagined. And there are more of them. Many more." Kane turned to Solis. "Prepare for jump. We leave no trace, no body, no clue. Let them remember our presence, but not our location." The fleet activated stealth technology again, disappearing into the dark expanse of space. Sensors across the alien empires were left puzzled. Where had the humans gone? How had such a small species inflicted so much damage without warning? Somewhere in a distant council chamber, alien leaders argued in panic. "We cannot underestimate them anymore," one said. "They are more dangerous than we thought." Back on the human flagship, Kane allowed himself a moment of satisfaction. "This is just the beginning," he said. "They will learn not to underestimate humanity. Not now. Not ever." The crew remained silent, knowing the battle was over, but the war had just begun. The humans had shown their strength, but the galaxy was vast. New threats would come. New challenges would rise. And when they did, humanity would be ready. In the darkness beyond known space, the legend of the human fleet began to spread. Rumors whispered in frightened voices, "The humans, they fight differently. They are not weak. They think, they plan, they survive, and now they are awake." Kane looked at the stars, calm and determined. The humans had revealed themselves, but only a fraction of their power. The galaxy had been warned. The next encounter would be even greater, even more decisive. And somewhere in the silence of the void, a voice whispered among alien fleets, trembling with fear, "They are here, and they are stronger than anything we imagined." The humans had made contact. The galaxy had noticed. And the war had only just begun. After the first battle, the human fleet vanished into uncharted space. Stars passed by like streaks of light, and alien patrols scrambled in confusion, unable to find them. But the humans were not running. They were hunting knowledge. Commander Adrian Kane stood on the bridge of the flagship, eyes fixed on the holographic map. They were approaching a region of space long thought dead, a place no alien dared enter. Ancient records called it the Veil of Shadows, a system shrouded in nebula clouds and asteroid fields, hiding secrets older than most civilizations. "Approaching the coordinates," said Lieutenant Mirasolis. "The ancient charts mark this system as forbidden. Nothing should exist here." Kane's eyes gleamed. "Exactly. That is why we are here. Humans have always survived by going where others fear to tread." Deep inside the fleet, the ancient warships hummed with renewed energy. Hidden compartments opened to reveal long-forgotten weapons, energy cores, and AI systems, older than the galaxy's oldest empires. These were not just ships. They were relics of a civilization that had once ruled the stars. As the fleet entered the system, strange readings appeared on every sensor. Massive structures, long buried beneath the surface of asteroids and ice planets, began to glow faintly. The humans had found the remnants of the first human empire, a civilization thought lost to time. Kane walked along the bridge, observing his crew. Every face reflected awe and respect. This was more than a fleet, it was a legacy. In the heart of the system lay a colossal space station, ancient yet intact. Its architecture was unlike anything alive in the galaxy now. Sharp angles, massive turrets, and energy conduits pulsing like veins of light. The station had been dormant for millennia, but as the human fleet approached, it awakened. "Commander," said Solis, her voice barely above a whisper, "the station, it's powering up. It's reacting to us." Kane nodded. "It recognizes its masters. Or perhaps it recognizes the rightful heirs." Deep within the station, ancient AI systems came online. Their voices were mechanical, but there was a sense of memory, of history. They spoke in the old language of humans, words long forgotten by even the most advanced colonies. "You have awakened the fleet and the station. The galaxy will tremble once more," Kane addressed the crew. "This is why we exist. Not to conquer, not to destroy, but to protect humanity's legacy. And if anyone dares challenge us, they will face the full power of our ancestors." Outside, alien spies had detected the unusual energy readings. Fleets from several species were converging, trying to understand the strange activity. But what they saw was terrifying. Humans moving confidently among massive ancient warships, activating systems that no one else had ever touched. This can't be real," said Admiral Ralvok, his hands shaking. "They're awakening. Something from the past. The humans. They're not just strong, they have history, power, intelligence that surpasses us all." Within the station, the humans explored the massive corridors and control rooms. Blueprints of ancient ships, weapons, and energy sources lined the walls, all waiting to be deciphered. Scientists and engineers worked tirelessly, understanding technology that had been forgotten for centuries. Kane knew that the true power of humanity lay not only in these ships or weapons, but in the ingenuity of his people. The ancient fleet could destroy armies, but the humans themselves had learned to adapt, survive, and outthink every enemy. Combined with the lost knowledge of the first human empire, they were unstoppable. As the fleet powered up the station's massive energy cores, a deep hum echoed through the system. Lights pulsed like a heartbeat. The AI whispered to Kane, "The galaxy will soon know the strength of its creators. They will tremble, but humanity will endure." Kane looked out at the stars. The humans had found more than weapons. They had found a reminder of who they truly were. And as the alien fleets approached, they would see the full might of a civilization reborn. Somewhere in the darkness, alien fleets sensed the awakening. Panic spread faster than light. Communications jammed, fleets hesitated, and commanders argued. Humans had revealed a secret too powerful to ignore. The ancient war fleet was no longer hidden. Its power had been amplified by the knowledge of its ancestors. And humanity was ready to show the galaxy why it had been underestimated for so long. Kane turned to Solis. "Prepare the fleet. We leave no trace, but we make our presence known. Let them feel the shadow of humanity." The AI within the station pulsed once more. "The galaxy will tremble. The humans are awake, and the stars themselves will remember them." The humans had uncovered their ancient secret. The galaxy would soon witness the full force of a people who had waited in silence for centuries. And when the next battle came, no one would underestimate humanity again. The galaxy was tense. Word of the human fleet had spread like wildfire, though few had seen it with their own eyes. For centuries, humans had been underestimated, ignored, even mocked. Now they were a force no one could ignore. Commander Adrian Kane stood on the bridge of the flagship, watching the holographic displays of the alien armada ahead. Hundreds of warships, powerful and well-organized, were moving toward a strategic system. Most species would have panicked. Humans saw an opportunity. Lieutenant Mira Solis tapped her console. "They're forming a blockade. Standard tactics. But they have no idea what we're capable of." Kane nodded. "Then we remind them. Prepare the fleet. Stick to the plan. We strike not just with force, but with intelligence. For the humans, every battle was more than weapons. It was strategy. Every ship, every cannon, every drone had a purpose. The fleet's ancient technology worked seamlessly with modern human ingenuity. The combination was deadly. As the alien armada entered the system, the humans waited. Cloaked ships hovered among asteroids and debris fields, invisible until the perfect moment. Kane's voice rang over the comms. "Now!" In an instant, the fleet revealed itself. Energy cannons flared to life. Shields hummed and missiles streaked across space. The alien ships were caught by surprise. Their formation faltered as one by one, key vessels were disabled before they could react. "Unbelievable," Solis whispered. "They're in complete chaos. We're outnumbered, but it doesn't matter." Kane moved along the bridge, observing the battle with calm precision. Humans were smaller in number, but their tactics were flawless. Ancient AI guided drones predicting enemy movements. Energy pulses disabled engines. Missiles struck in perfect synchronization. Every attack was calculated. Every move had a purpose. In the alien command center, Admiral Ralvok shouted orders, but his fleet was already crumbling. "Hold formation." "Counterattack! How are they doing this?" Panic and disbelief filled his voice. The humans exploited every weakness. Ships moved through asteroid fields, dodging enemy fire while striking from angles no alien strategist had ever considered. Smaller human vessels acted as decoys, drawing fire while the larger warships unleashed devastating strikes. Kane's calm voice resonated across the fleet. "This is not just battle. This is a lesson. We are humans. We survive, we adapt, we outthink, and we will not be ignored." The alien armada tried to regroup, but the humans were always one step ahead. Ancient fleet systems activated fully. Energy beams cutting through cruisers, AI-controlled drones disabling multiple vessels at once. Even the most advanced alien ships could not withstand the combined force of human intellect and technology. One massive alien cruiser tried to escape. A squadron of human drones intercepted it, preventing any maneuver. The ship fired desperately, but Kane anticipated every action. Within moments it was surrounded, powerless, forced to surrender. Admiral Ralvok, Kane spoke over encrypted channels. "This is humanity. We are not weak. We are not to be underestimated. Retreat now or learn the cost of ignoring us." In the darkness of space, alien fleets trembled. Fleets that had once been feared across the galaxy were broken, humiliated, and powerless. The legend of humans grew stronger with every moment of battle. Kane turned to Solis. Prepare the jump sequence. We leave no trace, but the galaxy will remember this. The fleet powered up, slipping into stealth as alien forces scrambled to understand what had happened. Communications were jammed, engines repaired frantically, and fleets regrouped. But the humans were gone, leaving only a story that would be whispered in fear for decades. Back on the flagship, Kane allowed himself a brief smile. This is the turning point, he said quietly. The galaxy will never see us the same way again. Solis looked out at the stars. They'll tell stories about us. About humans. About the fleet, about how we fight differently. Kane's eyes narrowed. Let them. Let them remember that humans survive against all odds. Let them know we are not just another species in the galaxy. We are the architects of our destiny. And somewhere in the outer rim, across distant systems, alien fleets felt the truth settle in their hearts. The humans were no longer weak. The legend was real. Humanity was awake, powerful, and prepared. The stage was set for the final phase. The galaxy had witnessed humanity's cunning, bravery, and strength. The next encounter would define the future, not just for humans, but for every civilization that had ever doubted them. And in the silent void, one thought echoed among alien commanders and strategists alike. They underestimated humans, and it will cost them everything. The galaxy had changed. The humans had shown their power. And the turning point had arrived. The galaxy was watching. Across light years, word of the human fleet spread like fire through dry grass. Whispers turned to alarm. Alarm turned to fear. For centuries, humans had been underestimated, dismissed as small and weak. Now every civilization felt the weight of their presence. Commander Adrian Kane stood on the bridge of the flagship, staring into the darkness beyond known space. The ancient warfleet, now fully awakened, glimmered with energy. Its weapons were ready. Its AI systems hummed in harmony. Its crew, humans ordinary yet extraordinary, were prepared for anything the galaxy could throw at them. Lieutenant Mira Solis reported, "Scouts are detecting multiple fleets converging. They've realized we are more than a threat. They see us as a danger to the balance of power." Kane's eyes narrowed. "Good, let them come. We will show them the full strength of humanity." In the void, alien fleets approached cautiously. Their numbers were vast, but their morale was fragile. News of the humans' previous victories had spread. Fear had already taken root. These fleets had trained for decades to fight in unchallenged supremacy. Now they hesitated, unsure how to face a species they had once ignored. Kane walked along the bridge, observing his crew. "Remember," he said, "we are not here to destroy everything. We are here to remind the galaxy that humans survive, adapt, and conquer when necessary. Show them the humans they should have respected long ago." Outside, the fleet moved like a shadow storm, weaving through asteroid belts and nebula clouds. Energy pulses lit the darkness as weapons calibrated for precise strikes. The alien fleets were forced into chaos even before the first blow was struck. Every human ship, from the smallest scout to the massive battleships, acted with intelligence and purpose. Suddenly, the humans struck. Energy cannons lit up the void, disabling enemy engines and communications. Missiles streaked across space, striking only where needed. Drones moved with perfect coordination, disabling cruisers and carriers without unnecessary destruction. Each maneuver demonstrated a terrifying combination of strategy, power, and cunning. Admiral Ralvok watched helplessly from his command ship. "Impossible. How can humans do this? They are not just strong, they are unstoppable." Panic and disbelief filled his voice. The humans pressed their advantage. Ancient AI systems guided attacks with precision no alien could anticipate. Ships that had once been feared across the galaxy fell one by one to humans who were smaller, fewer, yet smarter and faster. In the midst of the battle, Kane gave a single command: "Prepare the jump. Leave no trace, but make our presence unforgettable." The fleet activated stealth systems and jumped into deep space, leaving alien fleets in disarray. Communication signals were jammed, engines floundered, and morale shattered. The humans had appeared, struck decisively, and vanished without warning, ghosts of a power long forgotten. Back on the flagship, Kane allowed a small smile. "The galaxy will remember this," he said softly. "Not because of our weapons, but because of our spirit. Humanity will not be underestimated again." Solis looked at him. They will talk about us for generations. Our fleet. The humans. They will fear what they cannot predict. Kane nodded. Exactly. Fear, respect, and caution. Let this be a lesson. The galaxy will tremble, and humanity will endure. Across distant systems, alien leaders convened in emergency councils. We misjudged them, said one voice, trembling. We dismissed them for centuries, and now they are more powerful than anything we imagined. The humans, they are unstoppable.